Good afternoon. It is Thursday, February 5th, about 5:17 on the East Coast, so we're in after hours. Nothing looking spectacular. We had a few moves from 4 to 4:30. I wasn't in front of my computer then, but I sat down probably about 5, a little before 5. Got one quick trade on Wheeler. Made probably about $60 on it, so relatively small winner, but green is good. I took 2 trades this morning on BNAI. I'm watching Wheeler. I want to see if it'll try to break this descending resistance line. I got in for the break of VWAP right here. You can see that T on the 1 minute and 5 minute chart. That means trade. I got in for the break of VWAP. It popped up. Let's see, I think VWAP was 283. I got in at 280. It popped up to 295. If we look at my executions down here, I took 989 shares at 280, probably 281. Sold half at 292. That was a really good exit. And then held in case it wanted to test 3 and try to break through. It didn't. It came back down, so I scaled out at 283 and 281. So all 3, I guess, executions on the sell side were green. The first one was definitely the best. We have another 5-minute setup right now. Break at 284 would be first 5-minute candle to make a new high after that pop I traded. You also have an ABCD on the 5-minute, which is also an ABCD on the 1 minute. So a couple different patterns going on. Unfortunately, it's really light volume, so we're not seeing a lot of resolution and follow through. We're getting just short little pops, which is kind of like this break of VWAP here. I don't know if I'm going to trade it right here, but this does look good. I'm going to keep it up just to see what it does. But for right now, holding tight. We had some other stocks that were moving. MB had a nice little move. At 4, I missed it. CETX, this one was trending upward, but it's below $2, so trying to stay away. WOK had a nice little pop, but it's selling off. I think BQ? Yeah, BQ was the other one. Nice little move at 4 from about $1.20 up to $1.76, but it's rolling over. So, G-Wave, also worth noting. Sub 1 million share float, popped up to 587. It's kind of been trending downward since, but it's breaking through the VWAP right there, so I think this one's worth watching as well. It looked like it was selling off, so I didn't even mark any levels. We have a double top at 587, so there's definitely some resistance there. It's about 30 cents away from the current price. 200 on the dailies, way up at like 130, so it's a non-factor. So I think right now G-Wave and Wheeler are the 2 to watch. You have first 5-minute candle to make a new high on G-Wave, so break of 555. Right there. Nice move. Wheeler tested that descending resistance line, but it's having trouble breaking it. Well, it's maintaining breaking over it. It's a nice little break there, but the volume is pretty light. You can see the volume right here on the 1 minute chart. Only got 2,000 shares on this candle. If I were to jump in, I'd probably take 400 to 500 shares, so I'd be like 25% of that volume. Which isn't good. I'd want more volume so that we're all pushing it up and it's not just, you know, not that much volume to kind of get it to start moving. Anyways, let's look at BNAI. I'll go through that trade real quick. So scrolling down to my executions on the bottom left, I took 100 shares at 6:30. Rewind this. All right, so you can see my buy sell. So 6:30 was right here. 28.25. I think there was a descending resistance line I drew right there. I did get a high entry. I was trying to get in at 28, but I got in at 20. Or actually, I think there's a 5-minute candle that was like 27.70 maybe. And then there was another level at 28. I was trying to get in at 28. I got in at 28.25. Tried to sell as it popped up. You can see I had some partial fills and whatnot. Ended up selling all of them green, but I only made like $7.90 on 100 shares. So wasn't that great. And then I took another step here at 650, and I think that pushed me up to 118. So I think that second, I took another 100 shares at essentially 29, sold half at 29.87. So that doesn't quite add up. Anyways, no, sorry, it got me up to 67. I was thinking of yesterday. So I made like $60 on that second trade. So I was only up like $67 on the day. I sat down, looked at everything from 6:30 to 7:30. There wasn't anything I liked. BNAI had some better moves right after probably 7. Unfortunately, I just thought it was too expensive, so I stayed away. But you can see that nice green candle at 7:01. That was a nice breakout. And then kind of grinded higher right there. Popped out at 37, and it looks like it's just rolled over since. So those were the 2 trades I took this morning. Got me up to $67. And then this last trade on a Wheeler, I essentially doubled that. So right now I'm at 128 on the day. Pretty small day. Kind of like yesterday. I think yesterday I finished at 118. So just there's not a lot of opportunities for the time frames I'm in front of the computer. I think there's a lot more opportunity from like 7 to 10 a.m. But unfortunately, I'm only able to catch the very beginning of that from about 7 to 7:30. So just pretty sparse action. I think this is probably like day 3 that it's been slow this week. So hoping it'll pick back up. Last Friday, I had an amazing Friday, which is kind of odd. Usually Fridays are very slow. So you never know. I'll still show up at 4 a.m. tomorrow, see if we can get something in our favor. I didn't record I was having trouble, I think technical difficulties or something. I didn't record, I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week, or maybe just Thursday, Friday. But I had a really good Friday. So yeah, hoping tomorrow's good. But yeah, so I'm gonna be here probably until 8. Anything looks good, I'll try to get it recorded and then edit the video and put it on after this. I'll try to get timestamps in the description. Otherwise, I'll be back at it tomorrow at 4 a.m. in about 11 hours, 10 and a half hours. So, all right, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope everyone had good luck. If you did trade, hopefully you're green. If not, I think, just exercising that muscle of discipline and patience, and really just waiting for good quality setups and not giving into FOMO and jumping in and trading needlessly on low quality setups. I think that's a skill in and of itself. So sitting here, looking at charts, seeing things move slightly, but not just diving in. I do think that's a good strategy. It's a good practice. It's just one more, part of trading that is extremely valuable and will only help you out in the long run. So anyways, yeah, hope everyone's doing well, and be back at it tomorrow. Thanks. Good morning. It is Thursday, February 5th. Getting ready to start trading at 4 a.m. Currently looking at CISS and DHX. Nothing looked spectacular from after hours yesterday. The market's definitely kind of slowing down the past couple days. So don't have high hopes for this morning, but let's see if we get any opportunities that pop up. CIS kind of popping and dropping, not doing a whole lot. DHX, nothing. GDTC, it's a little on the cheaper side. Kelly B, I don't know anything about this. TDTH, penny stock, DHX. Alright, I think I'm gonna watch DHX, CISS, and AREB. AREB is below $2, which I'm trying to stay away from stocks that are below $2, but because this one's ran in the past and it's a sub 1 million share float, probably would consider getting in this one over maybe 175, as long as the level 2 doesn't get thick. CISS, making a move. This one's still really top heavy. It's just been struggling for I think a week and a half now. All the technicals, like this thing should rip, but it's just super top heavy. A lot of sellers are keeping this one down. I would probably want to see this thing over like 250, maybe even 3 before I jumped in. Just because last week when we traded it in the, I think it was like the 215 to 286 range, and just day after day, all throughout that range, it would just pop and immediately get slammed down. So it makes me think there's probably still sellers in that area. So I'd really want to see this thing kind of open up, prove that it's worked most of those sellers out. Otherwise, I'm afraid you're going to get in and then it's just going to get slammed back down, you know. It's either the same seller or a couple sellers have showed up, around 22,000 shares on the level 2 so far. AREB and DHX not doing anything. BATL, no volume. Yesterday was pretty slow. I don't think I took any trades 4 to 4:30. I came back, traded from 6:30 to 7:30. I think I took 3 trades. No, I took 3. Ended the day $118 profit. All 3 trades were winners. But they were all very small size. I think I was up like $60 on the first trade, then $84 on the second, and then ended at 118. I was here for after hours yesterday. Began trading about 5. I think it was 5:05. And was here until 8. Nothing. No opportunities. So Yeah, I think we're in a bit of a lull right now for small caps. Hopefully, it's very, very temporary. It'll turn around quickly. All right, let's see what AREB wants to do. I see a 4,700 share seller at 160. Still watching CISS and DHX. AREB, only 21,000 shares of volume. I would really like to see that get higher so we don't jump in this and then it just flushes. Essentially, the bottom drops out. Need enough volume in there to kind of support those lower levels. G-Sun looks like it's moving up, but everything right now is below $2. I'm actually going to trade out DHX for G-Sun. Fortunately, the 200 on the 200 EMA on G-Sun is like 40 cents above, 50 cents above where it's currently at, so that's a bit of a problem. All right, looking at AREB. So we have some lower float stocks that are showing up on the scanner. That's good, but none of them have nearly enough volume to jump into. AMC floats a little high, price is a little high. AREB, that's one we're watching. XRTX, penny stock, DHX. Floats a little high on the DHX. It's a bit, yeah, kind of working against it. AIXC, low float, or yeah, low float, price is good, but no volume. CISS, good. EDTH, any stock. GDTC, too cheap. And then Kelly B. I don't know, I have no idea what this stock is. I guess super light volume. It'd be nice to get in 100 shares at like 15. Yeah, I don't know. Probably stay away from that one. What's kind of strange is my other charts on a different platform outside of Webull, they're not even showing this 1 minute price action. So yeah. Stay away from that. CISS, don't see anything there. DHX, for some reason I thought it had a lower float, but now that I know it's about 39 million, I'm kind of leaning against that one, especially with it close to $2. Just too high a float, too low a price. So probably stay away. I think AREB is probably the best bet right now. IQST looks good, but it has no volume. CISS popping a little. Still though, I want to see this thing get moving. Now Kelly A is showing up. There's a Kelly A and a Kelly B. It's very interesting. They have to be related, right? They are. It's Class A and Class B share stock. This little 1 minute pullback there. Get in for the break of 59.99. Go all basically double. Guess that was the one to get into this morning. If it had a lower flow, I might have considered it, but it just... I don't... There's just something about it that it made me... It's kind of like when you see a warrant pop up. Like, it's almost like a different type of stock. I have traded warrants in the past, but very rarely, and I don't like trading them. But it was kind of that. Like I saw Kelly B, and it's just it felt like a different type of stock. So I kind of just wanted to just steer away from it, focus my attention elsewhere. If it were a lower float stock, I might have dug into it a little deeper. I do think there's opportunity at 4 a.m. on some of those kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Like SCAG. If anyone saw SCAG when it first moved like a few months ago, I think it was a Chinese stock. I think it was a acquisition or a IPO, but it went from like $10 to like 200, I think, at 4 a.m. I almost jumped in that one. That one looked fine. It was risky. I would have taken very small share size, but it's one of those like on the brink of like familiar small cap stocks, but they have the potential to just skyrocket like that. I didn't do a good job describing it, but yeah, I don't know. They're just weird. Very risky though. Like I want to take full size in one of those. Talking like maybe 25, 50, 100 shares max. They usually have super high spreads, low volume, so they're hard to get in and out of. All right, ASTC, no volume. Kelly A. VSTD, penny stock. AREB. I think this is probably one to watch this morning, but right now I don't see anything. There's no volume. DHX, I don't like the float. TDTH, penny stock. GDTC, too cheap. CISS, continue watching that one. And then Kelly B. I mean, it's made this ridiculous move from 15 all the way to 120 on only 22,000 shares of volume. So I don't have proof of this, but I do have, I guess, like a hunch that these super low flow or super low volume stocks like this, and this could be any stock, it doesn't have to just be this Kelly B, but any of them, any of the small caps, if they're like super light volume, like I'm talking like less than probably like 50,000 shares, I think the algos are most of that volume. At least early on in the day, especially at 4 a.m. But I also think that like if you took 1,000 or 2,000 shares, the algos would react to that order coming through from a retail trader, and the stock would actually perform differently. So even though like this made the move from 15 to 120 and whatever, had I taken say like 2,000 shares, that's a significant portion of the volume so far, I actually think the algorithms would have reacted differently, and this 1 minute chart would be completely different. Maybe not like totally different, like everything's inverted, but I don't think it would be the same. I think something would be different. I don't have proof of that. I don't know if there is any way to prove it, but just after, you know, years of watching these stocks and then understanding like how the algorithms work, and I don't know perfectly how they work, but getting a better understanding of it, I do think some of those algos are programmed that if it's light volume and they see a large order from a retail trader come in, it's almost like a trap. Like they just instantly sell to try to push that price down and essentially make you lose money. I don't have proof of that, but like I said, I do think that happens. That's one of the reasons why, after years and years of watching these stocks, I don't like trading anything that's on super light volume, because I do think the algorithms are programmed to do that. But basically what I'm trying to say is, like, I wouldn't get hung up like, oh, I missed this huge move, I should have just bought down here. I don't think it still might have made a big move, but I think it would be different. It's getting more into like the philosophical aspect, like what if, you know, what if I had done this, what if I had done that, the butterfly effect, how is everything else different? But I think that does happen with stocks. not seeing anything. Another slow morning. CISS, it did have this pullback and then kind of a snap up, but you went from 221 to 234. You caught that entire move with slippage and offsets. That's only a 13-cent move, so maybe you would have got like 8 cents. Probably not even that. That's all to say I don't really like CISS right now. It needs to like start moving. Probably give us maybe like 4 more minutes and then I'm gonna take off. Honestly, CISS, if it can hold these levels, it's probably gonna like put in a move between now and 5:30. It might just keep grinding higher though, I don't know. We have a 35,000 share seller on the level 2. It's getting eaten up. Don't think we worked completely through that seller. I think they pulled their order. The tape and the size in the level 2 were matching like pretty close there. And then once the order got close to like 12,000 shares, it just disappeared and nothing went through on the tape. So I'm guessing if this thing pops back up, you're going to see probably like a 12, 13,000 share seller, maybe at like 330. I don't see a huge seller yet. Level 30, definitely have some market tiers that are stacked up there, but I didn't see a large seller. Dog is visiting me. Alright, I think I'm going to call it there. I don't like the topping tails that are forming on the 5-minute chart. It basically just reinforces the story on CISS. There's a ton of selling on this. A ton of selling pressure. This thing makes a move up and it just gets slammed down. So, I think CISS is still worth watching and I'm going to keep watching it. I would honestly probably like to see this thing get over 3. And then AREB, definitely worth watching. I don't think this one's as heavy as CISS. Top heavy. And then I don't really have a third stock to watch right now. Just anything low float, I guess, is in maybe the top 10. Alright, so I will watch AREB. It looks like 187 is a daily level, and then we have room up to 306. I want to see if we can get a pullback. We just started a new 5-minute candle, so the 5 minutes kind of extended. Looking at the 5-second chart, there is a pivot at 173. If it could break 173, I would look for it to retest the 182. Right there. Large seller stepped in at 173. Looked like just under 12,000 shares. See that seller back at 174. Shoot through it. All right, I think I'm gonna step away. Let this thing kind of work itself out, see what it does. Definitely interested over 2. But see what it can do. All right. Good luck, everyone. Keeps teasing me. All right. Yeah, I'm stepping away.